welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy at the request of Patreon subscriber Frosty, and this is Grixis Irencrag Pyromancer control. Frosty is a huge fan of this card. I've played a deck for them once before in Pioneer, quite a while ago. I know a lot of testing's been done on this card and with this deck in Timeless on Arena, a format that I don't know that I've ever played. But here we are today, trying it out in Legacy. 0/4 for 2 and a red. Human Wizard. Wizard type is very important to this deck. Whenever you draw your second card in a turn, this creature deals 3 to any target. Obviously, 3 mana is a lot in Legacy. 0/4 is not a good body in Legacy, but getting to start whipping lightning bolts around for doing what Legacy blue decks do anyway is pretty dope. And the second card is a pretty low bar. We're used to playing with Tamiyo now, who triggers off the third card, but you only need the one with Pyromancer. Tamiyo clues will get you there. If you have a Tamiyo and a Pyromancer, cracking a clue every turn gets you a lightning bolt. Ponder gets you there. Brainstorm gets you there on your opponent's turn as well. Tapping the One Ring will get you there on the first turn you have it, and then on your opponent's turn every other turn. It's not that hard to get a lightning bolt on your turn and your opponent's turn every turn after Pyromancer resolves. Flame of Anor, of course, the glue that holds all Izzet decks together in Eternal formats these days. If you control a wizard, you get 2 modes instead of 1. Target player draws 2, destroy target artifact, deal 5 to a creature. This is our primary removal spell in the deck. It's our primary card advantage spell. It goes great with Pyromancer because then we get a lightning bolt as well. Snapcaster is a wizard and gets to send back any of these spells that we cast already. The important note that I got from Frosty is that Pyromancer is meant to go face. Unless we are about to be overtaken by some tech creature like a Tamiyo or somebody sticks it to Fairy or a Karn, the Great Creator, something like that, we should really be going face and trying to get the game over. This is a very fancy burn deck, all things considered. It looks like a control deck or a mid-range deck, but it's really a burn deck based around Irencrag Pyromancer. There are 4 copies of Thoughtseize in this deck, which might be too many, but I do respect it. I think that Thoughtseize and main deck Graveyard Hate are 2 of the most important things you can be doing in a Legacy brew right now. There are proven decks that we know their strengths and weaknesses, but if you're going to be doing anything off the beaten path, I think you should be able to Thoughtseize, and I think you should be able to attack graveyards in the main. And this deck does do both. We have Thoughtseize and Cling to Dust. Cling to Dust also just a cantrip in a pinch if you need to trigger your Pyromancer or see another card in a matchup that's not about the graveyard. The Currency Converter is here. It can, for 2 mana, trigger a Pyromancer on your turn, and then we have some graveyard synergy stuff, like there are a couple Reanimates in here. Those are there to get back Pyromancers that get countered or killed. But in this format, of course, sometimes your opponent has an Archon of Cruelty in their graveyard, or a Balustrade Spy, or something you can use. And that's pretty cool. There were more currency converters in the list that I was given that ported over from Arena Timeless. I don't think this card is entirely necessary in the Legacy format, but I am leaving one in because I like playing with it. And like I said, Thoughtseize is a big part of the format right now. If you just resolve a currency converter and get value out of your opponent Thoughtseizing you, that's pretty nice too. If you're discarding to hand size from the One Ring, they go into the cash register, that's cool too. There's some stuff with this. This deck is full of cards I like. I hope it holds up. Let's do it. This is Grixis Pyromancer from Frosty. I'm on the play in round 1. I'm going to take my chances here. Obviously, Wasteland's bad for me. This is a 20 land deck, though. If they're not a Wasteland deck, or they are a Wasteland deck but don't have Wasteland, or if they are a Wasteland deck and have it, but they have to choose to use it. Opponent kept 7. All things are true. That's fine. We knew the risk when we kept the hand. Busted. It's very easy at this point in the video for the comment section to be like, you idiot, you could never keep that hand. Why would you think that's okay? And I already answered that question. We just happen to be against Izzet Delver. What if we just weren't? What if we played against anything else instead? All right, I'll discard a Ponder here. We're not dead. Just need a fetch land and we're back in it. I got Lightning Bolt. I got stuff to do. Discarding a Ponder doesn't give away any information. Obviously, it's unsatisfying when you play a game like this or when you at home have to watch a game like this. But in every universe where they either don't have Wasteland right away or they do and I just draw a land, it's fine. This is a lot of damage now. Please don't have a Mishra's Bauble. All right, now I've had enough. Orcish Bowmaster comes in. Hydroblast, Pyroblast. Force of Will comes out. Thoughtseize, not that important here and hurts me a lot to use. All right, I'm comfortable with this. I might want... Ooh, Sheoldred's Edict and Toxic Deluge are probably better than the other Thoughtseizes. Definitely Edict. Thoughtseize is pretty risky versus this deck. If they're already on board, it's actively bad. How much life am I willing to spend? How much life will I be able to spend? I now have a ton of removal, though. All right, I'm going to leave one Thoughtseize in. Let's do it. And this is an important lesson, like just playing that non-game against Wasteland, is I am always operating over making choices that will win me more games over the course of my career. I am not individually worried about winning any game that's in front of me. If there is a 70-30 outcome, I will just take the 70 every time, even if I lose 30% of games instantly. This conversation usually comes up when I keep a one-lander, or if I let Chalice of the Void resolve, then happen to draw the one-drops in my deck instead of anything else. Yeah, 20-land deck. They all tap for mana. There's no Wastelands in this deck. 3 of them are basic. All right, opponent, you won't get this one for free. And also, I wouldn't keep that hand if I knew they were on Izzet Delver. That's part of it as well. Delta, Bauble. Bobbling yourself. There is a Thundering Falls in my deck, so I'll get it now. I think that's better than the Xander's Lounge. Another Pyroblast. That doesn't stop Quarry Steel Cutter or Dragon's Rage Channeler. And I already have one for a potential future Murktide. Sheoldred's Edict. We like that one. My deck does have Tamiyo in it, so I'll brainstorm now. Hey, there she is. I'm going to put back one of the Flames of Enor, and I think the Ponder. And I'll go for it here. I'll just play Tamiyo off of an Underground Sea. Maybe she'll get bolted. Maybe she'll get dazed. If they daze this, I'm fine with that. Opponent apparently just listened to our episode of the Eternal Glory podcast where we reacted to the No Change band update. And they're typing all their thoughts into the chat. I agree with most of the things you're saying, opponent. Alright, Tamiyo bolted. That's fine. We got Reanimates in the deck. Dragon's Rage Channeler's in. Cling to Dust. Fun. Alright, now I can mess with the size of Dragon's Rage Channeler. If they fetch in the end step, I'm going to Edict in response. Or there's a good chance they're getting a Thundering Falls here, so I'll let that happen. Yeah. Let you finish your Surveil. Thinking you still have a Channeler. But I know you don't. Each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature. That's gone. Wasteland, played around it. I got 4 lands this game. Come get me. I could jam a Murktide here, but I have the Red Blast. Okay, I could end step Cling to Dust. I think I want to. Underground Sea. Running out of black sources here, but I'm also running out of black cards. I boarded out most of them. I'm going to Cling their Lightning Bolt and draw a card. Flame of Anor. Volcanic Island. Alright, Scalding Tarn, pass. Next turn, I can start clinging with Escape, getting actual card advantage off that thing. Another Wasteland. I'll probably fire a Flame of Anor off in response to this. Volcanic Island. Flame to draw 2. This might be worth a Pyroblast or a Daze. But if it's not, I'll take my 2 cards. Hydroblast, you did it. Okay, out of black lands for now. There is a basic Swamp and a Xander's Lounge in my deck. Ponder, dig, dig, dig. Tamiyo. I do not shuffle, and I'm actually going to hold on Tamiyo because Pyroblast and Lightning Bolt are just so easy here, and they haven't really done anything in a bunch of turns. They, like, haven't put anything on the board, so I think their hand's full of reactive spells. And if I can stick Tamiyo and then cast Flame of Anor immediately, or in response to a removal spell, that works for me. Tamiyo on the Stackio. Alright, she resolved. I'm just going to pass. End step fetch. Basic island. Would they board in Blood Moon against me? They might. Petty theft. Okay. Tamio's in my hand. That doesn't seem good enough for me to risk a Flame of Enor over, and if they deploy that Brazen Borrower in the future, that's a target for Flame of Enor. I think the top card on my deck is a land, if I remember that correctly. Alright, we did it. Okay. Tamio. I kept the land there to play around Daze. I can also now Red Blast something. Alright, there's the Borrower. I'm going to let that in. I'm at 16. I got time. Alright, now I'm going to attack it. They can't daze me. Alright, target player draws 2, destroy target creature. Yeah, they have to have an actual counterspell here that I have Red Blast for. Like force blue card daze. Their hand would be for me to care. Okay. Tamio flips, unfortunately, at the point where I don't get to use her ability, but we played around interaction to get to this point. There is a Mystic Sanctuary in the deck that is currently online. I can grab a Flame of Enor here, or a Shoulder's Edict, whatever I feel like, really. Bobble. Bobbling me. Playing out another land. Alright, yeah, they got plenty of lands. I'm not going to crack this fetch land. Hiding the information they earned off of Bobble is not worth losing an actual game piece in the shuffle. Alright, Tamio ticked up. I think I'm going to start clinging to dust here. We just got to find a way to actually win this game now. Looks like they finally found the old Jerktide Regent. Oh, change your mind. I got a bunch of answers to this available. I have this Red Blast, I have this Mystic Sanctuary, and this Tamio. I can attack this Murktide 3 times. Doesn't matter between letting it resolve and countering it on the stack. I think killing it in the end step is fine with me. There are some cards in Magic that would make me make a different choice, but I don't think my opponent's going to have any of them. Like if they have Hydroblast, they get it regardless, and it doesn't matter. Okay, Force of Will. You got me. I'm going to cling to dust their Force of Will, because my plan is to kill Murktide anyway. I don't need these lands in my graveyard. I'm not using them for anything. Exile is Force of Will. Murktide will get bigger. Drew the one of Thoughtseize. What a banger. Flame of Anor. Unfortunately, Tamio is my wizard here. Alright, I'll fetch for Red Blast. It would cost me this Tamio to get 2 modes off of the Flame of Anor, which would kill Murktide, but not in a way I'm happy with. Alright, I want to see that last card in their hand before anything else happens. I'm at 15, I can afford it. Price of Progress! Oh no, 2, 4, 6, 8. 9, 10, I go to 5? That was naughty. Alright, sure. Can't counter my own spell. I mean, that was kind of a dirty one for them to have. Alright, destroy target blue permanent. Murktide. I think Tamio needs to buy back Brainstorm here and find something to do. That was scary. Didn't like that. Hello? Alright. No longer scared. Fear is the mind killer. And Pyromancer is the face killer. I need them not to have another Price of Progress right now, and then we can cook their shit. A land. That's fine. And they packed it up. They saw, wait, just enough to the Pyromancer, scooped it to that one. Okay. I don't really have cards in my sideboard I would want in, even though I don't want this Thoughtseize in my deck, actually. And good to know about Price of Progress. That's just something I can plan around. I think this deck is pretty well set up to beat up a deck like theirs. There's just a deck full of creatures. I can keep my life total high, draw cards, win somehow. I'm in. I have the one of Thoughtseize in my opening hand, which I guess is the best place to have it. Wall of removal for them. Bolt your first 2 creatures, snap bolt your next one, Thoughtseize something in between. I can play on basics, which I probably will this game. Thundering Falls. Dumped Brazen Borrower. Bobble. Alright, the proactive Bobble means Thoughtseize will be able to see the card they draw here. I hope this is a land. That would be great. Shoulder's Edict. Okay. I think that access to blue is more important to protect than access to red, even though I do have 2 red cards in my hand. Let's look at this mana. I have 7 blue fetches and 5 black ones, and 6 red ones. Most of my lands are blue at base. Yeah, I'm going to play around Wasteland, and I'm going to fetch Basic Swamp with Bloodstained Mire. Maybe fetching with Delta is better, because then I can get the mountain if I need to. All right, Brainstorm, Lightning Bolt, Pyroblast, Channeler. I'm taking Brainstorm from this opponent. I don't want their hand getting any better, because right now it's kind of bad. I can also just reanimate their Brazen Borrower to block DRC, or at least flush out a Bolt. Channeler, Preordain, alright. Good find. They know I have Sheoldred's Edict in my hand. Dumped Price of Progress. Yeah, get rid of that. Let's not do that this game. They have gone top with the Preordain and reached Delirium. Okay, that is red in a way I'm pretty happy with. Like, if they wasteland this, like, we knew their whole hand except for the card they just kept on top. Actually, I'm going to take their Channeler before they can use it. Give me that. Taking 1 for that is fine. Like, losing 3 life for the Brazen Borrower when I know they have 2 answers to it in hand seems like a spew. Yeah, there we go. Reanimate traded for Lightning Bolt. I gained 2 life. Okay, so they kept 2 cards on top that were not lands, it seems. 2 spells over there. I could snap or reanimate. I could snap Bolt. Snap is likely to get Pyroblasted, so I'm going to snap nothing. At least not until it's inconvenient for them. Noxious Revival, that's so funny. You got it. That is what this format's about. Noxious Revival is just in Delver decks. I'm going to Lightning Bolt here. I would love to Snap Bolt, but that Pyroblast is still up. Okay, we are settling into the dregs here, where I can answer their next creature and Pyroblast can't do anything about it. However, I'd really like to use the Snapcaster, and Pyromancer is really good against, or Pyroblast is really good against it. Let me get my Surveil land here. I can fetch mono Volcanic Islands this game because I have the basic swamp. Yo, alright, Flame of Anor. That should draw out the Pyroblast. If I end step draw 2 cards, it should get blasted, and then Snapcaster is ready to party. And if at any point they tap out for Murktide, I just cook their life. All right, that can't take me off any colors. All right, end step. Target player draws 2 cards. I choose me. All right, there's Pyroblast. Got that one out of the way. 2 unknowns over there still. Oh, another reanimate. Okay. That's now pretty good with Snapcaster Mage. All right, I am going to hold on to this reanimate then. Because if we end up in a fight over Snapcaster, then I reanimate Snapcaster, snap reanimate, reanimate something else too. Okay. End step fetch. They did not respond immediately. I'm just going to get my island. Snapcaster. But they haven't played a creature or a land, which means their hand is all reactive things, like that one. No surprise. And now we do what we really wanted to do the whole time. Even drew a black source to make it even better. Reanimate Snapcaster. I actually think Flame of Anor is still just a better play than reanimating one of their creatures. Flame of Anor. I will draw 2 cards. I will decline to deal 2 damage to a creature, or 5 damage to a creature. Turns out there's only 1 creature in play and it belongs to me. I could have played around Spell Pierce here, but I've chosen to play around Price of Progress and make future Brainstorms better instead. And the 3rd Pyroblast, all the boxes checked on what their hand might be. Another Wasteland. Still can't take me off mana meaningfully with this. We're down to 1 card in hand. They know I have Sheoldred's Edict in mind from their turn 1 bauble. Alright, I'm going to float a red. So make them think about Lightning Bolt or Pyroblast. Okay, Xander's Lounge. I will be cycling that. Underground Sea. Attack. I'm just going to hold up this mana right now. If they wasteland me, I'll cycle in response. And end step, I'll just cycle if nothing else happens. Cycle Xander's Lounge. It's not quite Flame of Anor, but it's close. It's half of a Flame of Anor. My Mystic Sanctuary is online here, which can only get Lightning Bolts and Reanimates right now. Not quite where I want to be. Tamiyo, get in. I guess I should play the Delta. That gives them perfect information to work with, but they don't have enough cards in hand that I think I need to be worried about that. And in case they do play like a Dragon's Reach Channeler or something, or if they do string together Murktide with Force backup, I want to be able to rebuy my Sheoldred's Edict immediately. They brainstormed in my main phase. They found Lightning Bolt for Tamiyo. That's fine. You're dead. Thank you for your service. Another land. They're flooding out a little bit over there. Another land for me. We're both flooding out, but I have a 2/1. And a known removal spell in hand. End step fetch. Grab that basic. I would take 7 damage if they have a Price of Progress here, because I would fetch Blue to Delta, fail to find, just to save 1 life, and take 6 from the other. Like, they're in as much or more danger to that than I am. Brazen Borrower is great. All their threats have to go through the battlefield. They just said in the chat they're going to die to snap beats, and I said, like, it's 2011. This is what Legacy used to be about. But that's... Snapcaster Mage is one of the most pure examples of what a 2-for-1 is. Like, my opponent countered the spell that Snapcaster played, but this 2-1 remains. I got a card out of them, and I got to keep a card. And this card so far has done like 8 damage. And it's still here. Murktide Regent. Into my face up Children's Edict. I kind of hope their last 2 cards are Force Blue card, then Brazen Borrower can go nuts. Each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature of their choice. Alright, that's gone. I am going to hold on to this Brazen Borrower just to make sure they don't hit me with a round 2 Murktide Regent out of nowhere. Cling to Dust off the top, eating Price of Progress. I don't want that shit coming back. Ponder. Now the cantrip wall is broken. 3 Brainstorms and a Ponder suddenly available to me. Brainstorm, put back, Scalding Tarn, and Ponder. And I'm going to attack. And I think I'm just going to pass. I'd rather be able to pay for a daze with Brazen Borrower. They have 5 mana now. Mystic Sanctuary. Is any of the cards in my graveyard good enough for that? I don't think so. I will upkeep fetch, though. Can't play around Price of Progress anymore. Oh, now I can. Just draw an answer to it. That works. Ponder. Snap, Hydro, Brainstorm. Let's go. Right, the re-snapping. I think we are well over the hump here. I have Snap Bolt available that represents lethal. They keep fetching like that. I won't even need the snap, just the bolt. And hopefully this will end in a classic case of just running your Magic the Gathering opponent out of cards to play. Target Lightning Bolt. Bolt you on your face. Hydroblast. You got it. And once again, that perfect core demonstration of what a 2-for-1 is. They countered the spell I cast, but the 2-1 remains. We got the GGs. Every single point I did was done with Snapcaster Mage. Okay. They are choosing to bounce my Snapcaster rather than die to these beats. But I can just snap the other bolt in my graveyard. Cool. And this is another factor of, remember that non-game where I kept 1 land and got wastelanded immediately, then I conceded without doing anything? You also play best out of 3. If you take the 70% line every time, 2 out of the 3 games you get to play, you'll be on the 70% drop, not the 30%. And obviously, we didn't have that same hand and make that same decision 3 times in games. The hands look different, but there are ways to balance out variance over the course of a career, and people mulligan too many hands afraid of what might happen in this game in front of them that I think are wrong. On to the next round. The BoshNRoll channel is brought to you by Tales of Adventure. TOAMagic.com has almost 100,000 unique cards in stock. They offer free track shipping on every order, plus next day or 2-day options when you have an event coming up fast. They offer on-site pickup at major Magic events throughout the US, so you're never scrambling before your tournament. Stop by their booth to buy, sell, or trade at upcoming regional championships, Magic Con, Spotlight Series, and more. I love their selection of individually scanned high-end cards that show you exactly what you're buying. And the best part is saving 5% on every order with promo code BOSH. From Ancestral Recall to Zombie Master, get what you need quickly and in one place at TOAMagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the draw in round 2. I have Force Blue card and very little else. I am going to keep, though, because Tamiyo's that good. And just continuing to explore the extremes of hands I'm willing to keep. This remains one of them. I'm more likely to keep a 1-lander than a 5-lander, but I think this particular 1-lander, with the ability to turn the corner as well as it does, and protect itself, is pretty sweet. My opponent played Preordain. I don't think that's normally a Reanimator card. They went top-bottom. Brainstorm. I think we're playing against Storm here just based on this Preordain, but we will see how that actually ends up working out for me. Bloodstained Mire, also a Storm land. Thundering Falls, Snapcaster. I'll keep that around. Blue to Delta, Tamiyo. Do I want to just go to work? If there's Storm, I do just want to go to work. Brainstorm. If I get lightning bolted or something here, egg on my face, you got me. But yeah, that's just resolved. I am soft to a discard spell here, and the top of my deck was not particularly helpful, but Snap Brainstorm starts moving stuff around. City Sewer been to Brainstorm, so they're not looking for card selection. They're looking for payoffs. Is that what's going on over there? Dark Ritual resolves. Duress, shit. The classic bottleneck of do you force the Dark Ritual or what comes out of it? Might just lose this game now. But they had plenty of rituals. That was not a bottleneck, actually. Oh, wow. Bolas' Citadel at 18 life. Duressing me again, knowing it's going to miss. They're just trying to clear cards off the top of the deck. We had Flame of Anor. Oh, no. Profane Tutor. And they get to cast it for freezies. That's pretty sweet. Now I can't possibly win. Thoughtseize. Duress. Okay, there's some crazy version of whatever here. Like appear into the Abyss Storm. Hardcast Bolas' Citadel deck. Cool. Alright. Consign to Memory is good. I'm not convinced any of these other cards are good. I'll probably bring in Orcish Bowmaster just as a flash threat. Surgical Extraction. I do play 4 Thoughtseize. If I could gut something important, that could be useful. I don't think I'm playing these Reanimates. Currency Converter. That is good against a deck full of Duresses. At least as good as like any card that is low impact could be. I don't think I need Basic Mountain in this matchup. I tried to justify the Converter. I just can't. One Ring's pretty slow, but reloading my hand after I fend off an early blitz is going to be pretty important. I think it's just 2 of the Pyromancers, and I know that's what we're doing here. That is the reason for the deck, but it's just the worst card. I'm going to play correctly. All right, here we go. Keep. No blue card for my Force, but a wall of Thoughtseizes. I trust a Thoughtseize more than I trust a Force of Will in this matchup and in this format in general. There's no bad lands in the deck, so we're just going for Underground Sea. All right. Bolas the Citadel, Profane Tutor, Edge of Autumn. They're going to Thoughtseize my Thoughtseize regardless. Doomsday. I mean, it's got to be Doomsday, right? I'll take that one. They played Underground Sea, so we now know what they drew. This Thoughtseize is going to take my Thoughtseize, probably. Yes, indeed. The One Ring. Interesting. All right, I'm going to play Xander's Lounge, because I think that they are priced into duressing my Force if they duress me here. I hope they cast Edge of Autumn as Rampant Growth. That would be so sick. Nope. All right. Suspending Profane Tutor. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. All right, I'm going to get Volcanic Island and play the Mighty Pyromancer. If there was ever a time to be a glorified burn deck, it's against the Bolas' Citadel strategy. Duress. Do they want to roll the dice that I draw a land, roll the dice that I draw a blue card? Or they could take Lightning Bolt and pretend none of this is even happening. Land? Oh, sick. Alright, well, I will be in the One Ring's protection. They can't storm me out. And when I draw this card, they take 3. Ka-chow. First successful trigger of Irencrag Pyromancer is online. I am not going to attack, just in case there's some goofball stuff to be done. If they have a Doomsday win with Thassa's Oracle here that ignores the One Ring, great job. I have done what I can. A Doomsday past the turn pile probably won't work. Alright, they have plenty of mana to do stuff now, though. And they just tutored. Oh wow, they're going to ram the Citadel at 14? Hell yeah. Alright, let's see if they win. Ritual, Petal, Land. In Doomsdaying with Bolas' Citadel out is a delight. I have experienced that in Vintage Cube before, and it looks like they have actually done it. They'll go to 5 life when this resolves, and I suspect they could successfully build a pile of like 4 Lotus Petals and Thassa's Oracle and win the game. Yeah, Thoughtseizing the opening hand and seeing 3 payoffs basically between the Tutor, the Doomsday, and the Citadel. Not what I wanted. Not what I was hoping for. And the ability to take my backup Thoughtseize. We're 1 Irencrag Pyromancer trigger away from victory here. Yeah, maybe if I had not played Xander's Lounge on 2, but then I wouldn't have curved out into Pyromancer. Like, I'm just thinking about what if I had bolted at some point in my life. Yeah, Thassa's Oracle with 2 cards left. The full insult version. Yep. Can't do anything about it. That was a sweet deck. Building for pure speed with Dark Ritual is something that I'll always respect. On to the next round.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the play in round 3. I'm going to keep this Thoughtseize opener. We love a Thoughtseize. We also especially love it when it's protecting the mighty Irencrag Pyromancer. When it's on 7. It's about to be 6. Hey, look who it is. It is Oops All Spells, and they actually have 2 payoffs in hand. I guess I have to take the Dark Ritual here and hope that they don't speed up their mana at all. Alright, yeah, they have 3 flip lands, 2 payoffs, and Dark Rit. So Ritual's gone. Thank you, Thoughtseize. Alright, please don't draw Dark Ritual immediately. Agadeem. Tapped. That's the right answer. Okay, I'm gonna ponder and look for more answers to stuff. I like this Force of Will. Let's put that one in the bank with Brainstorm on top of the deck. Unfortunately, now that they're on the slow hand, this gives them time to draw and cast things like Thoughtseize and Ball Therapy. They could cast their Jack-o'-lantern. Interesting. Is that, I guess, like, in play, is the easiest way to get it into the graveyard? Okay. Let's get this damage on board. Volcanic Island. Volcanic Island. Trusty Irencrag Pyromancer. Come get some. Right, they can play Undercity Informer this turn. Fellmire. Oh, they still have Boggart Bog in hand. I clicked off the wrong land, but they do have another land now. They've drawn a Poxwalkers, that's fine. Okay. I can kill that shit anyway. That was just gonna happen. Okay. Thundering Falls. I'll Surveil before I draw, because every card matters here. I don't think I need another Peasy. We'll figure it out. Target player draws to deal 5 to Poxwalkers. Not that it's much better for me in their graveyard than anywhere else, but I'm doing my work here. Dark Ritual. That sucks. All right, I'm going to force pitching Flame of Anor. Is there one unknown card packed? All right, we did know about that one, even though I had clicked off incorrectly. All right, I got one turn to figure out what I'm going to do about this Balustrade Spy. Oh, Reanimate. That's interesting. With their Jack-o'-lantern in play. I guess that could stuff my Reanimate. That's so annoying. I don't even have a silly line I could take. All right, Brainstorm needs a Thoughtseize. That counts as Thoughtseize. I'll put back Reanimate and Scalding Tarn. Deal 3 to you. Oh, I guess I should have kept the Reanimate and faked them out with Reanimate on their Undercity. Because now they can exile Thoughtseize. All right. Man, Jack-o'-lantern dominating this game. Wow, 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 they didn't use it. They didn't use it. Oh my god. Maybe they just didn't care. Their hand was too Balustrade Spy. That was definitely wrong not to use it, though. Fascinating. Yeah. Did they just play this out for the memes and then not actually read what the text on the card is? The messed up thing is if they draw Pact of Negation, I'm still losing this game. Balustrade Spy, Force of Will. Okay. Big. That was big, big, big. We're now through 3 of their monsters, 3 of their 8 ways to win the game in their deck. I've already used my Thundering Falls. Do I want Flame of Anor or Force of Will? I think I want Flame of Anor. Mystic Sanctuary, get back Flame. Flame, destroy target artifact, and I'll draw 2. That has actually mattered. Maybe I'm a clown for not getting Force of Will here. I did have 5 lands. Alright, if I lose this game, it's my fault. I could have Force of Will in my hand. Just got so excited to Flame of Anor again. Brain turned off. They appear to be getting a turn. I'm out of tech lands to fetch for. Oh god, come on, deck. It's so scary. It's like any other deck I would feel 100% totally fine here. But this deck, I know I could lose to a single card. And I know that 3 of those cards are gone already. And I know how miserable it would be if they find one of their remaining 5 cards in their deck that do anything. All right, deck. A Ponder wins the game. A Cantrip wins the game. That does not win the game. Oh no. And their line does not require any life to be spent. They can't Thoughtseize me anymore. They can't put a new land into play, but they have 4 mana already and couldn't afford to play around a counterspell anyway. Oh my god, we got away with it. It's crazy to think that that game was close when I had Thoughtseize, Force of Will, steady stream of damage the whole time. Wild. All right, to the sideboard. It's nice to get game 1 though. Magus of the Moon is interesting because it does put them on Lotus Petal to come up with black mana. I don't think I'm going to have room in my sideboard plan for it, but it is interesting. Cling to Dust. I don't think I'm going to be reanimating against this opponent. Like, reanimating their spy and targeting them with it is not actually good, because they can do the Memory's Journey trick and just kill you. Currency Converter is too slow. If I thought Pyromancer was too slow for Storm, it's definitely too slow for Oops. Basic Mountain unnecessary. Oh, Bowmaster is some damage. I am boarding out 2 of my sources of damage. That did deal like 9 that game. But Magus might actually stop them from comboing or make them struggle to combo in some meaningful way. Bowmaster is also better against like a Barrogoyf Juke or Dothy Voidwalker. I don't know that they'll actually do that though. I'm going to try Magus of the Moon. I don't have room for 2 of them, but I'll try one of them. Oh wait, did I board out 6 cards and only bring in 5? Look at me with my bounty of riches. All right, Magus of the Moon. Though, I can't play this till turn 3 and they're on the play. All right, maybe on the... If there's a game 3 I'm on the play, I might try the other one. Pyroblast can counter Memory's Journey or Pact of Negation. I don't think I'm going to do it. I'm going to stick with... I'll just play the Flash Threat, even though it is pretty anemic. Listen to me making intricate plans for turns 2, 3, and beyond when I'm playing against Oops All Spells. Alright, well, I don't like this, but I think I am priced into keeping it. I just don't think it'll be enough most of the time, and now that the deck can beat Surgical easily, it's even worse than it used to be. But let's hope for a low mulligan and low resource attempt that Surgical actually does at least slow down long enough, and the Snap Surgical comes online on my second land. Okay, opponent has mulled to 4. That is half my plan operational. If they have a slow, steady hand that might be able to, like, Thoughtseize me, hit a couple land drops, work its way up, I'm not out of the woods. If they have a fast send with no protection, alright, Thoughtseize. We'll see if Surgical is even the card of concern here. Do they fight over Tamiyo instead? Tamiyo is gone. Force of Will. You love to see it. Right, I'm going to set up my Surveil land. I don't think I'm going to be needing to Bolt Their Face this turn, though Bolt Their Face will be part of my plan eventually. Okay, a tapped land. They are on the slow, steady, disruptive line here. I don't need Basic Island. No thank you. All right, I'll play Volcanic Island and pass. I have 2 Surgicals up now, or Surgical plus Force. I think I'm going to hold on to this Bolt. Just going face is really bad if they suddenly decide to juke on me. But this is the other half of this deck. It's like, I had to keep this weird anemic hand on the strength of Surgical, and now nothing's really happening. Okay, now I'm incentivized to do stuff with the Snapcaster. I can Bolt, Snap Bolt in the end step, get a bunch of damage on board, and then Flame of Anor's online. Alright, I'm going to fetch first, Underground Sea, Bolt you, Snap Bolt you, Bolt, Snap Bolt, still have 4 Surgical available. Sick. Attack with Snapcaster. And I'm gonna Flame of Anor. I'm gonna draw 2. I'm gonna do it now because there are things that I might want to do on my turn, like Thoughtseize, or Ponder into Thoughtseize. I'm out of fetchable black sources though, so maybe this Ponder doesn't make sense. Or no, I have the basic. Alright, Ponder's fine. We did it. Another Thoughtseize with a Cling to Dust under it, though I am about to shuffle it away, so that doesn't matter. Alright, Thoughtseize you. Let's see those 5ers. Balustrade Spy, Cabal Therapy, Dark Ritual, Belcher. I'm kind of convinced it's the Dark Ritual. Or maybe I just take the Therapy and make them beat my counterspell. Yeah, I'm taking Therapy. Okay. If they draw Pact of Negation, I can lose. Or no, I still have 2 layers for that. Attack. They're at 5. Do I want to Brainstorm or Flame? I think I want to Flame. I'll just take the raw card advantage. I don't think I'm going to have to destroy an artifact this game. The One Ring. I'll Brainstorm here as well. And land it on another Thoughtseize. Okay. Relentless beating up of their hand. I'll take Balustrade Spy this time. Goblin Charbelcher. Dark Ritual, Cabal Therapy is what they got going on over there. I'm going to stop in their draw step and take their Cabal Therapies. Right, Dark Ritual, Charbelcher, Poxwalker. The 2 therapies they play are out of the mix now. They are on the Disciple of Fraelis build. 2 Poxwalkers in the deck. Okay. All right, I know their whole hand right now. Dark Ritualing out Poxwalkers doesn't make a lot of sense. And now I could set up a One Ring and untap it with Manamo, which means they can't kill me with Belcher. One Ring, draw, land. Do I want to take my draw now? Sure. Untap, One Ring, down Cling to Dust, though. No, I shuffled that away earlier. This is a different Cling to Dust. It's the same one, but it's on a... We found it again. It is nice that all the cards in my hand, or cards in my deck, are playable in this matchup after sideboard, and we'll take a mold of 4, but that was still dicey for a couple turns. On to the next round, we defeated Oops All Spells. The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables. In this YouTube series, hosts Patrick Sullivan and Patrick Chapin go set by set through Magic's past, leveraging their decades of experience as Pro Tour players and game designers to analyze the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a deep dive into the facts, mechanics, cycles, trivia, decks of the time, and historical context of the set. The hosts dig into notable cards of the era and their lasting impact today. Each set gets an award show where the hosts pick their favorite cards for categories such as Best, Worst, and Weirdest. And finally, give a letter grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/theresleevables. I'm on the draw in round 4 with a super fair hand. I will keep it. I do have Cling to Dust if I get a turn. My opponent has currently mulled to 5 and is still thinking about it. Are we back at the Oops community? Here we go. Let's just hope they're getting unlucky and they're playing a fair deck and they're just starting on 5 cards. That would be great for me. Or if they blind therapy naming Force of Will and then have to pass the turn and I have up Cling to Dust, that would be great too. Wasteland. Okay. Maybe they actually did just get unlucky. Okay, I can just play Tamiyo here into this Wasteland. I think I'm going to do that. I'll give you my Manamo if you want to waste me. They're likely, I think, to cycle a Lurin Revealed or something here. Wow, okay. So actual 5-card hand with Wasteland for mana. What's going on over there? Once upon a time. Okay. Oh, this is just lands. All right. That would make some sense. I'm happy to have the Cling to Dust here as well, though this matchup might get ugly. But I do have a lot of burn, which is the way that these kind of tempo and mid-range blue decks can beat lands. I do have 2 Magi of the Moon in my sideboard. This Urza Saga could become scary. I have a Meltdown in my board. I guess I have a bunch of Flame of Inors. Okay, do I want to offer up Tamiyo, or offer up Volcanic Island to flip Tamiyo? I think I do. Getting this Planeswalker Kraken is something I can do here. Brainstorm, mostly just hoping to see some fetch lands, and we did. Okay, I'll put back Lightning Bolt and Scalding Tarn. Okay, I have Force of Will and Cling to Dust. I can tread a little bit of water if they have something like Crop Rotation or Exploration, Mana Bond. The builds recently don't really play Mana Bond. Disruptor Flute. Well, Flame of Anor would eventually deal with that, but I think it is my job currently to just make sure Tamiyo ticks up every turn. Plus Tamiyo. Access to basic Swamp. Locked up. So Saga goes up to 2. I put Tamiyo to 8. I pass with 3 mana. I can kill a construct with Flame of Anor. Wasteland makes it a little more complicated, but not that much, really. Okay, I'm going to fetch an Underground Sea and crack my clue. Because if they waste me, they don't get constructs, which is basically the same thing. Polluted Delta plus Tameo and pass. If there's a Pithing Needle in the deck, that's something I'm going to have to deal with. Maybe I was supposed to play Irencrag Pyro this turn and set up the big Flame of Anor and just accept that Tameo's not going to go off right now. Yeah, I guess this only could have been 3-3. Yeah, I might have blown it. But I can trigger Pyromancer next turn. Okay. I'm going to let them tutor Pithing Needle. All right. Let's see if they even go after Tameo. Do they want to put 2 damage on a Tameo that doesn't work? Or is there a different plan now? They are still attacking her. Fair enough. Respect where it's due. I'd love to fetch my Surveil land here, but I kind of messed up my sequencing. I think it's okay. I can get away with it. Surveil land. That was the fetch land that can get basic swamp. I don't want basic mountain this game. Brazen Borrower. Interesting. Okay. I am going to get... No, I have to get... I don't have to get Underground Sea, but I think I am going to get it here. Yeah, I'm just going to hope that they don't get Wasteland loop online. Irencrag Pyromancer. Cling to Dust. Exile Wasteland. Which draws me a card, kills a construct. I know I'm supposed to go face with these, but right now, I believe this is correct. Alright. I've got Big Peasy in play. I've got a bunch of cool interactive cards in my hand. We can get Tameo back online next turn. Even 2 Wastelands don't get me off what I'm trying to do here, because I have the next land in play, or in hand. Alright, they did have the Loam. That was relatively potent, but I think now with Pyromancer online, we're going to get through it. Alright, draw for turn. Flame of Anor. I'm going to draw 2 and destroy Pithing Needle, which will also destroy the construct with my Pyromancer trigger. And then Tameo's back online. Read of this thing. Yeah, they don't want to play anymore. All right. Irencrag Pyromancer domination. We're going to ignore Tameo for a minute. All right, Magus the Moon's coming in. Meltdown coming in. Surgical is fine. Consign is medium. It's not without targets, but it's not great. Children's Edict does kill Merit Lage. I think Lightning Bolt's pretty bad here. I think Thoughtseize is very bad here. Force of Will's not great either, but I think Thoughtseize is probably worse. This is 5 out, 5 in. There's still 1 Thoughtseize. That, I don't think that makes any sense, unless it's in my opening hand where I could grab an Exploration with it. I'm probably not interested. I'll get the Edict in. I like all the graveyard hate, the passive graveyard hate. I like the burn. I say as I board out Lightning Bolt, but that's not the burn that I like. I like this burn. This steady source of burn as I do what I want to do anyway. Reanimate might not make any sense because they won't have any targets for it, and they won't be very good at killing my targets for it. What does Consign actually do? It gets Urza Saga chapters. That's really about it, I think. Maybe I do want these Lightning Bolts in, or... Yeah, they're probably better than Reanimate. Okay, I mean, that's a little awkward. I don't really want Lightning Bolt or Reanimate in my deck. Might be just a hole in the sideboard map. Though, to be fair, the list I was sent had 4 Blood Moons on the board, 2 actual moons, and 2 Magi of the moons. And I thought that was too much because they're only useful in, like, exactly this matchup. But here we are, this matchup. So, scoreboard, Frosty. And me with a sideboard map that is 2 cards short. But I did just beat up spells where a sideboard full of Blood Moons is pointless. Okay, I don't like this hand. But I also don't think I can defend mulling it. Gotta have some faith in the deck when you play these mid-range junkers. Once upon a time. I think that I will force an Exploration if that happens here. They once for Boseiju. I am going to force. I'm just deciding if it's Snapcaster or Flame that I don't want. I think it's Flame I'm going to pitch. Because Bolt Snap Bolt is something I can do to apply pressure. Where Flame isn't on for a while. Oh, sweet. Let's go. Something real to do. Their deck has Karakas in it, Blast Zone. There's stuff they can do, but we saw Tameo just run away with the last game. Malevolent Rumble. Exploration, 2 stages, and a Loam. That's pretty good. That is a top tier rumble, if there ever was one. And I just spent 2 cards on exploration, so they'll definitely take that, knowing I'm scared of it, which I am. The 1 ring. I am pretty reliant on Meltdown moving forward from here. I'm just going to get buried by Urza Saga if I don't find the Meltdown. A Dredged Loam, 2 Dark Depths. Okay, Stage Depths is now fully operational. Seiju as your land, exploration. Still have a land drop available. Oh god, they have a wasteland. That's bad. So I have to fetch basic mountain here to draw my card. And this Eldrazi spawn sitting in play protects their Merit Lage from future edicts. Basic swamp online. We're doing it. Alright, I might be playing a 1 ring and just hoping to spin my way out of the game I can never win. Alright, Saga gets to do the thing here. They still have Loam in their hand from before. I'm going to fetch my swamp while I still can. You can't name Clue with Pithing Needle because it's not a card. Lava Spur Boots. Alright, I got some action on that with my Lightning Bolt. Can soak up a mana, save 5 damage. Saga from hand. Didn't even have to Loam that one back. Alright, Loam targeting Stage Depth Saga. I might be able to interact with this. I guess I will crack my Clue in response and see if I spike Surgical Extraction. I did not. Okay. I played to my outs. Lightning Bolt this Sleepy Construct before it learns how to attack. Now I'm taking 2 this turn instead of 7. And Magus the Moon off the top would be great. Meltdown. That will be good at some point. I'm going to attack with Tamiyo and then 1 ring. And I have to endure a turn of whatever it is they want to do, which could just be set up Stage Depths. I could Flame here, destroying Lava Spur Boots and drawing 2 cards. No, I think I want a ring. I need a miracle to get out of this. I would actually feel okay versus the Sagas now that I have my Meltdown, but I am extremely worried about the Merit Lage in hand. Basically, I would need them to main phase the Merit Lage without enough mana to make a construct, and also I need to somehow kill the Eldrazi spawn so I can Edict the Lage. It's a lot to ask. Merit Lage, that's main stage. Though tapping the 1 ring does flip Tamiyo next turn. I don't have high confidence in this game. Okay, I'm going to attack with Tamiyo. If I could trick them into making the 20/20 to block Tamiyo, that would be great. But they should be able to read the words on the 1 ring and realize that's not actually what this game's about at all. I found Magus. I don't think I can win here. What do I have to do? Disruptor Flute. Okay, so they're playing Disruptor Flute. That's good because it sinks mana. They named the backside of Tamiyo. That's fine. That was not actually important to this game. Brainstorm if Brainstorm hits the other Lightning Bolt that I was supposed to board out, or couldn't afford to board out. All right, I'm gonna Brainstorm. Irencrag Pyro. That's not gonna do it. Yeah, they just have too many tokens for my Edict to line up here. All right, you got me. Game 3, we're on the play. That Lightning Bolt did save me a lot of damage, and it was the card I could still draw at the end of that game that would have been useful. A Bowmaster also kills Eldrazi spawns, but it doesn't necessarily kill constructs. Alright, I'll leave my bolts in, and I will submit the deck. I'm leaving Currency Converter in because that's pretty good when there's Magus of the Moon, because it's a treasure machine. Alright, well, 1, 2, 3 Magus is the plan here. I'll lead on Tamiyo, which does open me up to Wasteland, but if they Wasteland me, in Exploration changes the rules a little bit. But if they Wasteland me, hopefully we're both just back a turn and Tamiyo's still doing stuff. You have a Maya. Shit. Alright. Bad news, everybody. They have the good thing their deck does. Yeah, if they just have a Saga now, it might be too late for me. It was just tragic. Okay. Attack with Tamiyo, then cast Brainstorm, get Planeswalker mode going. Brainstorm, Cling to Dust, access to basic island if I want it. All right, I definitely don't want Underground Sea, and I don't think I want Mountain either. Yeah, I'm going to take my chances against Wasteland here. Playing that Dark Depths is really interesting. I think I might just have to fend off a Dark Depths on the next turn cycle, which means I have to get as many looks at my one of Edict as possible. There's one Brazen Borrower in the list as well. I have 2 outs to a Merit Lage here. Saga taps for colorless. Okay. Those aren't Wastelands, and they're not Thespian stages. They will tap for colorless mana in Blood Moon's World. Oh no. Did I mess this up? I think I needed that Mountain. Is Mountain still on top of my deck? Alright, I'm going to draw and hope I left Mountain on top, because I need to fetch basic island for this game to function. Something's happening in my upkeep. Disruptor Flute. Alright, that can name Tameo. I don't think they're going to name Scalding Tarn. If they do, million IQ, good job. Scalding Tarn taps for mana here. Yeah, they named Tameo. Okay, good. I messed up, but unpunished. Just remember where my cards were, and it's okay. Alright, now I have access to all my colors under Blood Moon, and I hope that they are not ready for this card. Magus the Moon is a wizard, by the way. Unfortunately, because of the recent rule change, we will not see 2 Ursa Sagas go to the graveyard. Warping Whale. Alright, so they're going to make a colorless Scion on the way out. They didn't have to do that because these still tap for colorless, unfortunately, and they don't die. But they will not learn how to make constructs. Luckily, this came in just in time. If they had done this a turn earlier, even one of them a turn earlier, that would have been a disaster for me, because then I would have been under Blood Moon with they can make unlimited constructs forever. The peasy. All right. I was going to Flame of Anor this turn, but now I don't have to. Pyromancer, and I think I'm just going to pass with Brainstorm available. What goes wrong if I attack? They can't Endurance with the mana they're showing. Yeah, I think attacking is where I need to be. I'm going to end step this Brainstorm for the damage. I am tempo gaming now. Ooh. Oh my god. I like what I see, team. I'm going to put back Cling to Dust and Flame of Anor. And I'm just going to go face. I don't care about this Scion. Okay, Flame of Anor. I'd like to draw 2 cards and destroy Disruptor Flute. They might concede to this. And I'm drawing Cling to Dust, so I'm going to leave black up. And they did! Yeah, the Magus of the Moon sideboard plan got him game 3. Nice. We have a solid record going here. This is 3-1 going into the final round. Let's do it. We're a few rounds into the video. If you're still here and having fun, remember to hit that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, use code BOSH for 5% off your order at toamagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the draw in the final round. Positive records locked, playing for the bread and butter 4-1. My opponent has kept 7 cards. I have as well. Underground Sea, Ponder. But playing against Oops Lands and Corey Steele, is it in the league so far? It would only be appropriate if we get paired against Reanimator for the final round. Just play against the entire top of the metagame. Let's do it. I have no fear. Their Ponder did not shuffle. I am going to play basic island here. No reason to risk a Wasteland being annoying to me. Okay, Cling to Dust and Thoughtseize. I like these cards. I don't like that I can't cast both of them next turn because of my fetching. That is, of course, the cost. Stable mana versus good mana. If they Entomb Reanimate now... Okay, Thoughtseize is probably going to take my Thoughtseize. That's why I stacked it this way, so then I have Cling to Dust on top of the deck that I can draw next turn. If they go for an Entomb, I can plunk the monster. Or they might just be Tempo and not Reanimator, and then they might take Brazen Borrower, the One Ring, and not be worried about Thoughtseize. Took Brazen Borrower, okay. That makes me think they're building towards a Murktide Regent. Tameo checks out as well. Okay. A permanent. They're more interested in a permanent than a not a permanent. Alright, I will take the time to Thoughtseize here. See what else is going on in that hand. Obviously Thoughtseizing versus an active Tameo sucks. Oh, they are Reanimator. Interesting. I'm going to take Brainstorm so Tameo can't automatically flip here. Though I'm not in love with any of my options. If they draw a land, either drew land for turn or ponder into land or clue into land, they can flip Tameo this turn. They actually have a lot of looks to do that. They drew the land. Disappointing. Ponder happens. Kind of hope they just jam Murktide instead of flipping Tameo. Am I crazy for that? I've got Pyroblast in the sideboard. Irencrag Pyromancer might be able to build up to that, but Thoughtseize in the Brazen Bar is very smart for my opponent. Pyroblast in the sideboard. I have 2 bolts that might be able to slow it down a little bit. It's not great. The cost of having all these Flame of Enors and Irencrag Pyromancers in my deck is I don't have a lot of Lightning Bolts and Fatal Pushes. They did just jam Murktide. That's exciting. I'll Brainstorm here because this could hit Force that I would be comfortable with, or it could hit a wall of giant bricks. Okay, Murktide resolves. I will go for the homie here. Irencrag Pyromancer. Can we turn it around? Opponent's got 2 cards in hand. One of them might be Daze at this point. I hope it's not. Okay, they get to hit me for 7. And then I can go for the ring, which lightning bolts them. And then I get to go to my turn, brainstorm, bolt them, ring on their turn, bolt them, and then die to the ring. Oh, I need some answers pretty quick. Cracking clues, I like that. They don't have anything better to do with their 3 cards and 3 mana. I'll take it. That does turn on Fatal Push, though. Ponder flips Tameo. Now I can actually tangle with that. I couldn't a turn ago. But if they just have Daze or Force of Will, they shuffle the library. That's good. They've seen the One Ring. They know it's here, which is something I have to navigate. But when I'm facing down Murktide Regent, not a lot of options how to navigate. They cling to Dusting. The Ponder does trigger Pyromancer, but it also makes Murktide lethal. I'm just gonna fetch Volcanic Island and hope they don't have a counterspell. Come on, hold. Hold, hold, hold. We're in there. All right. Draw with Pyromancer, or draw with Ring, triggers Pyro, 3 to Tameo. I can't have them buying back spells. It's just not an option. I have Ring protection, which means Archon of Cruelty doesn't hit me here. I still don't want that card in play, though. Unfortunately, this isn't every 2 cards. How busted would that be? Or there's no way with it. This triggers twice in a turn. Like, I can't get 7 damage on a Murktide. Tameo does block. That's an option. I do have to be a little worried about Orcish Bowmaster out of them. Tameo. Another one. Okay, they can't Bowmaster from this mana. Lightning Bolt. If I draw my other Lightning Bolt, I can finish off Murktide. I guess I'll tap the ring and see where this goes. I don't want to play Tameo first. Oh my god. You're saying there's a chance. Alright. 3 to Murktide. And then Bolt Murktide. And then Bolt Murktide. Wow. Okay. Mystic Sanctuary would come in tapped, but I think I have to do it. Mystic Sanctuary and my own Tameo. Crazy. I think getting Tameo in is worth it compared to brainstorming on their turn to trigger Pyromancer. Thoughtseize, huh? I'm going to cling their Murktide in response. I just want to gain some life, like real bad. And that's still in my graveyard next turn. If they Entomb Reanimate right now, the Thoughtseize was going to break it up anyway, so I'll take the life while I can get it. Now I am F6'd. Undercity Sewer. Did they set this up? It was a setup! Well, the Thoughtseize was going to beat me anyway. Alright, now I gotta navigate in Atraxa after barely navigating in Atraxa without lifelink that didn't draw 5 cards on entry. But I do have the One Ring in play. If anyone could do it, it's our boy the One Ring. Entomb, Wasteland, Delta, Thoughtseize, Brainstorm, Barrogoyf, another Wasteland, Daze, Tarn, Tameo. Pretty good spread. And I'm out of Miracle Lightning Bolts to rip. They took Wasteland, Thoughtseize, Brainstorm, Barrogoyf. Tameo is attacking. I'll block. No free lunch. Okay, I go to 7, which is unfortunately how much damage Atraxa deals when it attacks. I will attack with Tameo to bank a clue, because when I tap the ring, she flips. Attack my opponent for -1. I do get to see the cards the ring draws before I have to decide where Pyromancer's going. Ring. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. How much damage is this? So they go to 12. I can only play one of these things. Oh no. If I could get all 3 in, I could deal with Atraxa. I guess I have to hit this Tameo. My ring is becoming a liability. If I brainstorm into another ring, that could keep this game going. Brainstorm. That should have been with Mystic Sanctuary. Okay. I could play a Pyromancer, brainstorm on their turn, deal 6 to Atraxa, and then die. We were doing something. Okay, mostly they had Thoughtseize on the turn. They went for their reanimate after me floating that graveyard hate the whole game. That'll happen. All right, Sheoldred's Edict comes in. Oh, was I trying to draw to a Sheoldred's Edict that was not in my deck that game? Like it, or God, it was in the sideboard. Okay, this is a deck with Thoughtseize. This currency converter has not lived up to what it needs to. This might be cool in Arena Timeless, but this is not hanging in Legacy, unfortunately. This is a matchup where Cheese Reanimate is a game plan. I like Thoughtseize, I like Lightning Bolt. The Pyromancer did just have a moment of heroism, trying to keep me alive. I think we still have to shave exactly one of those. I do need my basics here. I actually don't like Force of Will, even though they're partially a combo deck, but I have Surgical, Clean to Dust. And they're a deck with a bunch of Thoughtseizes. I think I'm gonna roll the dice with -1 Force. Maybe I want Bowmaster here. What does Bowmaster replace if I'm bringing this in? I don't think I want to cut a Ponder. I do like all 4 Thoughtseizes. Lightning Bolt's good against Tamiyo. Honestly, if I was going to bring in Bowmasters, it would be over 2 more Pyromancers, and I'm going to try to stay true to the vision here and just not do that. Though I think it is correct if you're trying to win Eternal Weekend. But while I'm making content, who cares? Well, this hand's very good at not getting comboed out, but unfortunately that's only half of what the matchup is. Like, oops, all spells, I snap keep this, but not here. All right, this one, I'm in. Keep, bottom Mystic Sanctuary. Take a peek with a Thoughtseize. Seize ya. Barrogoyf, Force of Will. Ooh, the Brazen Borrower sucks ass, because if I reanimate this Barrogoyf, they can bounce it, then they get it back, and they don't even have to think about anything. That's annoying. Alright, I guess I am taking Barrogoyf, though, because it's the card I am least likely to be able to beat. Underground Sea, Ponder. Yeah, if I reanimate this while that Brazen Borrower is still in their hand, it's basically like I'm just unthoughtseizing them. Do not shuffle their Ponder. I'll play my own Ponder. Bunch of red cards. I think I would like Irencrag Pyromancer in my hand, and then I'll draw Lightning Bolt Flame over the next 2 turns. Thoughtseizing me. I hope they take Pyromancer, but they might take Ponder. They can't be scared of this reanimate. Why would they take Pyromancer when they can see the reanimate? Never mind, doesn't make any sense. They're going to take Ponder. And they have Fatal Push lined up with the fetch land now. Yeah, basically, we have comparable game plans here, except their game plan has a series of 2-card combos in it that completely invalidate everything else that's happened so far in the game up to that point. And mine doesn't. Yeah, we'll probably just see Fatal Push here, but let's flush it out. Let's get it done. Yep, there's the push. 6/6 Murktide. It's just big enough to survive the Flame of Enor on top of my deck, and they have Force of Will to back it up. If I try to double spell them, I get obliterated. Ponder. None of these cards are going to help. Shuffle. Pyromancer. I think we've lost this game. It didn't bring in my Pyroblast. I think I might have just brain farted during... Alright, yeah, we can't win now. I think I might have just brain farted during sideboarding. Pyroblast should obviously be in there. Apologies, viewers, for that anticlimactic finish where I made a very obvious mistake. Okay, but we still had a pretty cool league. We played against 4 of the top decks in the metagame. We played against Reanimator, Oops, Lands, and Izzet. We beat 2 of them. Or we beat 3 of them. Yeah, we lost to the crazy Bolas Citadel Storm deck and then Reanimator, and then we beat 3 top meta decks. That's not bad. I do think that this deck is missing some necessary fundamental interaction, like maybe we should just have 4 bolts or get Sheoldred's Edict into the main, at least 1. Just the ability to remove a Murktide region. And I added the Brazen Borrower to this list. This was not in the list I received. So the one answer to a Murktide region we have is a card that I added. I don't think the currency converter reanimate thing really came up. Maybe over a larger sample size we'd see more of it, but I think the idea of cheesing one of Reanimator's monsters is unlikely. And if these were just more threats or more cards, then we wouldn't have to be thinking about reanimating our own creatures. And without currency converter, Like, Currency Converter is kind of here to loot away one of your creatures reanimated ahead of schedule, then do cool stuff, which never came close to happening in this league. And that's partially because I'm playing one converter instead of the two in the list I was sent, but that's because I identified it would probably not be good enough for Legacy, and I think that is true. I think this pass is pretty good, though. All things considered, we were making a lot of good back and forth decisions, playing a lot of games. We won more matches than we lost. Count it, scoreboard. Moving forward, I would cut Converter and the 2 Reanimates. And you could probably play 3 Thoughtseize instead of 4. And you'll still see it in a lot of opening hands, but you won't flood out on them. Definitely Reanimate, Currency Converter, and probably 1 Thoughtseize are 4 flex slots that you could then turn into Lightning Bolts, Fatal Pushes, more Brazen Borrowers, Shoulder's Edict, whatever, and open up some slots that you get to play with. And it is all, of course, assuming that Irencrag Pyromancer is a card that you must play 4 of because you love that card. I think if you play 2 or 3, you will still have games where Pyromancer pops off, but not games where you draw the second and third one after you barely resolve the first. Just playing with the numbers based on what you actually want out of your experience. But per Frosty's send here, Irencrag Pyromancer is the reason for the season. There are 4 in the list, and I would fiddle with these other 4 slots before I mess with those. And I think we got the base of something pretty cool here, if this is what you want to be doing. Frosty, thanks for sending this in. Everybody, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check out the Patreon to support the channel. I'll see you next time.